Here we go. Here we go. A live review with the Beer Hooligan. Game on. Yes, the first of hopefully many beer reviews with a guy that I stumbled across over the past sort of like couple of months. I'll let him introduce himself to you and tell him a little bit about his channel. Go for it, mate.
Hello, I'm Mark. I'm a beer hooligan. I've got a channel obviously called the Beer Hooligan where I review beers from my pub shed. And yeah, I've been going about just over a year now. And like I say, I stumbled across Dean as well on the beer tube, as we call it. My sort of favourite beers are Belgian triples. So you'll see a lot of Belgian triples on my channel. German beers, Dutch beers. But there's just so much beer out there. It's a case of, you know, getting it reviewed, you know. So I'm open. Any suggestions, you know, if you ever see a beer, you want it reviewed, let me know. Give me a message, and I'll do my best to review it for you. So over to you, Dean.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at, as you can see from the title, two pretty easy to get hold of beers. To be honest with you, they're both available from Morrison's, Waitrose. I think Tesco's. Did Tesco's do? Yeah, Tesco's do the Westmalle, don't they?
Yes, Tesco's do the Westmalle. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're pretty easy to get hold of. Relatively the price point, you know, a £5 will get you both beers easy, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first beer we're going to be taking a look at is going to be from the Thornbridge brewery.
Sure. Halycon.
Halycon, yeah. Their take on an Imperial IPA, 7.4%. I'm a big fan of this brewery. I don't know about you, Mark, but I've got a lot of time for them. I think they're
very big fan of this brewery. Yeah, they're really, really good. The stuff they're knocking out. I've yet to have a bad beer from Thornbridge.
Yeah. The whole portfolio of beers, they cover more or less all styles of beer, and I think they do a pretty sterling job, really. One of my really, it's hard to get hold of, but Kipling, that's a fantastic beer from them chaps.
Yeah, I reviewed their Hell's beer, Lucas, the Hell's, yesterday. Really, really good beer. I'll tell you, for a Hell's being brewed in England, you know, I think the Germans would basically approve of it. It's that good. Yeah. We do crack.
Yeah, so I think my only, like I've said on other reviews of this brewery, my only sort of inkling with it is it's a shame it's not 500ml anymore. Yeah, nice filtered appearance to it. Nice golden colour.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of carbonation.
Yeah, I've got a sort of half finger head on mine.
Yeah, good spacious 2-finger head on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks decent. Aroma
is, it's hoppy, it's juicy.
Yeah, big juiciness to it. Like pineapples, is it? You reckon
pineapple, grapefruit. I'll tell you what I'm getting from it. I'm actually getting a little bit of tangerine in there.
Yeah, orangey sort of whiff to it.
Yeah. And I'm getting I don't know if I'm getting a pear. The back end.
No, I'm not picking that up. But
there you go. Go show how different smells.
Yeah.
Different people. I can at the back end the sort of.
Yeah, for me, nose wise, it's just I think pineapple dominates it for me, and then like a wave of orange, lemon, grapefruit. Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah, it smells a juicy little number, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really, really does smell juicy.
I think we'll dive in on it, Mark. Yeah. Cheers, bud. Cheers.
Now there's a hint of pear in there.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with it on the back end, like a fruity dryness to it.
Yeah, right on the back end.
It almost reminds me a little bit of a West Coast IPA, but without the dank bitterness to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, intake wise, it's a lovely juicy little number. Pineapple up front for me on the intake.
Sort of sweet in the middle as well. It gets a sweetness. It builds up to a sweetness and then drops down to a bitterness at the back end, where you get that little hint of sort of pear.
No inkling of that ABV for me.
Oh, I can tell it's over 5.5%.
I'm not picking that up one bit. I mean, if I was to be given this blind tested, I just think it was a session IPA myself. It drinks.
I would have said about 5.5. It doesn't warm you down here like a 7.5% beer.
No, I'm getting no warmth to it at all. Yeah, I do like that sweetness in it as well. It's not overboard sweetness. It's a juicy, fruity sweetness in there, along with, for my palate, I think pineapple dominates it. Yeah, orange in between, and I get where you're coming from with that pear thing on the back end, sort of drying almost.
It finishes off the back end of this. Finishes off like a pilsner. When you get that dry, when you have a pilsner, you get that dryness right on the back end.
Dryness, yeah.
It's good beer.
Yeah, I think it's a decent offering from them, to be honest. I always ask myself this question: would I buy it again? And I would. It's a beer I would definitely go back to again.
Yeah.
Especially with it. I mean, I got mine from Morrison's. I think they do it.
Down 60 a bottle in it, I think.
Well, in my one, it was $2.45 or 2 for £4.
Yeah. I think mine had the deal.
Either way, that's pretty good value, really, for the type of ABV style beer that you're getting. I've got no gripes with it whatsoever.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's a bit of like oily slickness to it as well in there.
Yeah. I don't know.
What would you give it?
Summer.
Pardon?
I don't know if I'd want to drink it in the summer. I think it's a nice light coloured ale to drink in the winter. It's a nice sort of, to me, it's a wintry beer. On a hot day, I don't think I'd want it.
The ABV, the well hidden ABV, would trip you up in the summer if you bake out in the garden baking art. I think because you'd be parched, you'd want to neck it, and it'd get you into trouble, jobber.
I think it is, yeah.
What would you give it score wise then, Mark?
I would give it. I'm going to be generous. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Solid 8 out of 10 for me, I think, for it. It's a decent beer. No, I can't pick no faults with it myself.
I think the only thing that's going to put people off, but don't let it put you off, is the ABV. A lot of people will go 7.4% ABV. Oh, I'm not drinking that. That's too strong. Don't let it influence you. Try it. it's not going to taste strong. It's not going to give you that warming sensation as it goes down, which puts a lot of people off. And you're just going to think you're drinking, like I say, 5.5% beer.
Mm. Yeah.
Because
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but when I started experimenting with craft breweries, I sort of slightly ran before I can walk, and I was getting imperial stouts coming in at 12%, and my palate couldn't handle it, and it was off-putting almost. I was like, oh, you know, I didn't take to them. That alcohol was too much, but now it's sort of like I appreciate it a little bit more. And with regards to this beer, you know, if you're new to sort of craft beer or trying different beers other than the macro shit, then don't be put off by the ABV, because I don't think it would be that too aggressive.
No, I've always, the way I did it, I was always drinking beers up to about 5.5% anyway, you know, at beer festivals and that, the IPAs and that sort of thing. And then obviously Belgian beers, that's how I've really built it up. First of all, you'd be on your doubles, and now your triples, in some cases your quadruples.
Yeah. I need to try a few more Belgian beers, to be fair. I've done a few, but I need to do more. I need to appreciate them a bit more, I think. You know, but there's plenty of time, like you said at the beginning of the video. There's that many blooming beers about. It's just hard to keep up with it all.
It's brilliant though. It's the best thing about it at the moment is these beers are now accessible to everyone. You know, you don't have to go online and buy them. You know, if you haven't got a beer shop near you, you can go into a supermarket nowadays while you're doing your weekly shop, and you can pick up good quality craft beer. And even Belgian beer. You know, Tesco's have probably, I'd say Tesco's and Waitrose have probably got the best ranges of beer out there in the supermarkets. And people don't be put off by Waitrose. You know, a lot of people are put off by Waitrose, think it's a shop for the rich or a snob shop and that sort of thing.
Snob shop.
Their beers they're no different in price to buying it off the shelf in Morrison's, Tesco's. You know, if you look at the prices of the beer which they have in there, which Morrison's and Tesco's and Sainsbury's have on their shelves, you price compare it, it's exactly the same price. So you're not getting ripped off by them. And they've got some fantastic beers on there. Beers that you cannot get on other supermarket shelves. Yeah,
definitely. I try and champion, I mean, especially Waitrose, I try and champion their beer cause as much as I can, because the beers that they do offer are fantastic. The selection's amazing. Price point is bang on, I think, compared with the likes of Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Asda, and all them lot. You know, and I mean, they had bombers of the Wild Beer Co. Some of their beers, and it was like two 750 mil bottles for £6 or something like that. I mean, you just can't argue with that price.
No, and also with Waitrose, what I've noticed is if there is local breweries in the area, they tend to stock their beers as well. So an example, which I pop into, which is right on the M40, which I sometimes fly past and I pop into, is the one at High Wycombe there, right on the side of the M40. You can just pull off, nip in there and nip out. And they actually have like a lot of Marlow Brewery beers in there. So obviously they must have some sort of ethic with their beers that they will, the local breweries, they obviously approach and say, can we put your beer in our supermarket? Because I've noticed this a few times, which is good. This is, you know.
Yeah, it's supporting local brewers, and that I'm all for that. When you've got a big firm like Waitrose, you know, they've got blooming stores from north to south, and they've got quite a few. And when they do something like that, it's good to see. You're out on your travels and stuff, and you see a local brewery sitting on the shelves, and you've never had it before. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And there's some great, it's like you say, there's some great local breweries, but I'm finding it, a lot of them are up north. The scene is, there's some cracking breweries coming out from, you know, north of the M6, and it's not a lot down south, is there? It's more sort of. It's funny because years ago, ale and that was always associated to the north with the ale drinkers, the south with the lager drinkers. You know, there's always the joke, wasn't there, about it?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it seems that the north is all this fantastic craft beer, and the south is producing ale. It's like we're sort of behind them, if you know what I mean. It's
I see. I do see where you're coming from. I mean, I'd sort of sit myself Midlands myself, so I can get to see sort of up and down. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, the north, the breweries there. I mean, just fantastic outfits. The likes of Cloudwater from Manchester,
Northern
Magic Rock, Huddersfield, and Northern Monk. You know, I mean, yeah, the list is endless. It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, the south isn't void of decent stuff. I'm a big fan of Siren Craft Brewery from Reading.
Yeah. Now I've done some beers for. I've got the name of the brewery now. That way. Oh God, I'd have to look back. That was good beer. Little craft beer place around sort of Reading, Thatcham way. But I think the notable one in the south is, you know, is obviously you've got Camden, which are now AB and Bev, and Wild Beer is good, which is from Somerset. And the Wild Beer stuff is
Wild Beer, yeah. I mean, Bristol itself, really, that's getting a little bit of a hotbed of craft beer. I mean, Left-Handed Giant. I don't know if you've ever tried anything from them guys.
No, there's just so many. It is.
They're remarkable brewery. They're sort of like up there for me. Wiper and True, they bang out some good stuff. That's that neck of the woods.
I think one of the most frustrating things for me as a reviewer is these breweries that produce a beer and you review it and no one can get hold of it, or they discontinue it. It's, you know, it's a lot of the stuff is small batch, one off, and there you are reviewing a beer and no one can get it because they've sold out. And
I mean, it all depends how you want to look at that. As long as you enjoy the beer, you know.
I do, but I want others to enjoy it as well. And they can't get hold of it, and that's why I like a lot of reviewing a lot of the Belgian beers, because these Belgian beers, some of them have been around hundreds of years. The recipe's not changed, and people can still get them. It's Brewdog's a big example of producing a beer and it disappears.
Yeah, I'm just going to check the comments quickly, Mark, just to see what. So
I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
Okay, so first one up, cooking with Chris the Butcher and friends. Hi guys, what are we drinking? Well, Chris, at the moment we're on a Thornbridge beer called Halycon. It's an IPA and it's pretty decent. Pretty decent, mate. Mr. Rommel, Dean, there's a woman in your kitchen helping herself to your biscuits. Hey, your biscuits alone.
As long as she's not helping herself to his beer.
Joshua, he comments, how many beers are there in the world?
Millions.
Where'd you start with that? Yeah, too many. Jim Clark, strangely, the drinks between you both look somewhat different. Dean's glass looks very clear, where Mark's bowl glass makes the brew look a little wheat in clarity.
Well, mine, I must admit, I've drunk mine now, believe it or not. but I found there was a bit of cloudiness in my one. Yours does look a lot clearer than mine. So, was it a case of, this is what I mean when they bottle these beers up, could mine's got best before the 26th of 11th, 2019.
5th of October 19, mine.
So yours is an earlier different batch, obviously, to mine then.
Yeah, yeah.
Which could obviously explain why yours was clearer, and you had a lot bigger head than mine, which had a slight haziness to it and a half finger head. So whether or not my bottle come from sort of the bottom of the barrel, which you sometimes know. But it goes to show the two beers, and
yeah.
They tasted similar, and that's all that matters, really.
Right, okay. Back to the comments. Ken Beer Reviews is in the house. Hello, Craig, mate. How are you? Hi, gents. And then he's put, it's good for craft in Kent, just not as intense as Midlands, Yorkshire, and Manchester.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I was in Bury St Edmunds yesterday. Went out for a day. Bury St Edmunds, a very, very good beer town. Bury St Edmunds. Like, forget about Green King or Greedy King, as I call it. But apart from that, right, you've got a very, very good little beer shop there called Beautiful Beers. He's got a website, and he has a fantastic selection of all your Belgian beers. He's got a lot of craft beer in there now. He also, the hops and that, people go in there, brew their beers, for brewing their beers and that sort of thing. Got some very, very good pubs for beer. And he also got an Adnams shop. So I popped in the Adnams shop, and Adnams are going big on craft beer at the minute. They're doing collaborations with Northern Monk and all sorts of breweries. I picked up quite a few Adnams cans yesterday of different stuff, which I shall be reviewing. But yeah, that is a mainstream brewery that has seen that the craft beer revolution is big, and they want to get involved in it. I don't see the likes of Shepherd Neame, Green King, Fuller's getting involved in this industry yet, or seeing that there's a market there.
Yeah, I mean, Fuller's did. They have made a couple of efforts of dipping their toes in that scene. Obviously, with the Frontier Lager, which was in bottle form originally, and then they moved it. I got a can
of that yesterday. Actually,
I mean, it's not a bad lager. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's all right. And then they messed about with their London Pride a bit, didn't they? And tried to jazz that up. And
I got a can of that yesterday. You must be reading my mind.
Yeah, unfiltered. I mean, yeah. I'll leave it at that because you obviously haven't reviewed it. But
but Adnams. They had an example of Adnams. They had a cucumber sour in there. Which they're obviously embracing it. I think it is because it might be driven by. I went up there last year for a tour of the brewery, and I think it might be driven by the fact that they're big hitters now in the gin market. Someone in their company thought gin. We need to get involved in the gin market, and they produce award-winning gins. And obviously, with this, I think because of the success of their gins, they've thought to themselves, "Hey, we can have a bit of do the same in the craft beer market." And yeah, they're knocking out some good stuff. Lagers with Earl Grey in, and and it's affordable. But obviously, I think they can keep it more affordable because they're such a big company.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll move on to the Westmalle. If you want to do the introduction for this one, Mark, because you're a bit more clued up with Belgian beers than I am, mate. So you probably know a little bit of or story behind it, maybe.
So here we have the Westmalle Dubbel, and this is 7% ABV. And what a double basically means with a Belgian beer is pretty much they've doubled up the ingredients. So that's basically what a double means. Now, the Westmalle Brewery is sort of south of Antwerp way, and believe it or not, back in the sort of 1800s, it was actually part of the United Kingdom. When the United Kingdom owned that part of Holland or the Netherlands, actually the Westmalle brewery was part of the United Kingdom, but since then, obviously, it's not part of the Netherlands anymore. Belgium got their independence, and it's now part of Belgium. And you're looking at sort of how this beer come about. Well, this beer sort of basically come about in around 1926, and they produced a table beer. And then sort of after that, they doubled up the ingredients to make this first double, which they're still brewing today. So this is a beer with a lot of history. It's been going around for a long time. So what we're going to do is, I think we were going to crack it open and give it a go. Now, with all Belgian beers, I'm
going to have to use a Chimay glass, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that. It's to the large expanse on the top of the glass promotes with the foam on the top, and it promotes the foam locking in the flavour, but also promoting the aroma. And you know, these glasses, they're not just designed. Well, they are designed sort of a little bit of marketing, but they're also designed for the beer. And in some cases with Belgian beer, they actually design the glass and then brew the beer to fit the glass, which is, it's very interesting, that side of the coin. You could get away with, I tell people, like, that's my sort of IPA glass. You could get away with that sort of shape, drinking the Belgian beer in, if you, or the other one, if you haven't got a Belgian beer glass, a big red wine glass does exactly the same. So, you know, don't go sticking this in an English pint glass or something like that. You're not going to enjoy the beer. And, you know, I'm not messing around. You won't. So let's crack these open.
Let's go. I've only had one beer from this brewery before, and it was the
triple.
I can't remember what it was now. It's bloody years ago since I've had it, but yeah, only the second beer on the channel from this brewery. Lovely stuff.
Now, let's just see before we start what the dates are on these bottles, because this beer, when it is bottled, it also re-ferments inside the bottle, so it's what you call bottle conditioned. Now, my one is the outer date is the 6th of the 9th, 19. But to be honest, you could drink this in 10 years' time, you know.
Yeah, mine's 31st of the 10th, 20.
Yeah, so yours is sort of like a year younger beer.
But yeah, looking lovely in the glass.
Yeah, in the glass. But look at the uniformity of how they're poured.
Yeah.
A nice sort of head on top.
Yeah. And it looks really sort of creamy as well, the head.
Yes.
It's a nice consistency to it. I know it's quite, you got spaciousness in that, but the foam on the top, it's got that sort of like double cream sort of look to it.
Yes. And the foam is very, the bubbles in the foam are not tight. They're very sort of loose, what I call a loose foam.
Yeah.
The way to sort of describe the foam on a Belgian double is, it's a bit like when you go to a beach and you see the foam on the sand from the waves, which is sort of like a loose foam, and it's very much similar to that in consistency. Whereas if you get a stout, it's a very, very tight foam, isn't it? If you know. So
yeah,
we get the aroma then.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yes, there's a lot of malt in there.
It's almost like a fruit Kool-Aid sort of whiff to it.
Because I've had this before, I know one of the most dominant fruits in this, the smell. So let's see if you can pick it out, Dean. It's pretty obvious straight away.
It's definitely some sort of currants, red currant or something like that.
Think about it. You peel them.
You peel them.
Yeah.
Banana, but I'm not getting that.
Mm. Yeah, you will. You get the banana.
I'll probably get it on the taste, but
on the smell, you'll get the banana. Caramel
fruitcakey sort of thing.
Raisins. Caramel, raisins, and bananas. Sounds like a breakfast cereal, doesn't it?
Yeah, having one of these in the morning when you wake up with your pouring it over your cornflakes.
Right, should we dive in then? Or...
Let's go for it. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Roasted malts.
Oh, that's lovely, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, banana.
Yeah.
Milkshakey almost, isn't it? That Nesquik banana sort of taste for me.
Yes. Yes.
Figgy.
Yeah. You also get some notes of coriander in there. A little taste of coriander. And the Belgians put a lot of coriander in their beers because that's why you don't wake up with headaches after you've been on Belgian beer all night long.
That's the trick, is it?
That is the trick. And you can taste a slight hint of coriander in there.
Yeah, I can't get my head around it just yet with that. Banana, yeah.
Yeah, banana.
Tick the box with banana for sure.
Caramel.
Figgy, raisins.
Yeah.
Coffee. Lovely richness to the beer, isn't there?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a lovely mouthfeel, isn't it, to it?
Yeah. No, I'm not a coffee drinker. So I find I get the caramel off of the roasted malts rather than the coffee taste.
I'm not detecting no coffee in it. Toffee caramel.
You can get a coffee taste. If people who drink a lot of coffee would probably go, there's a coffee taste to it because they've had so many different types of coffee and that. But I'm not a coffee drinker, and usually you find if you don't drink that sort of stuff, you'll substitute the taste for like caramel.
Mm. Yeah, for me, this time of year, drinking a beer like this, perfect.
Absolutely perfect, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. It's a decent. I'm going to say winter warmer, but I'm not getting any booziness from it myself. But it's a cozy little drink because there is a nice sweet richness to it, almost like fruitcakey.
Well, the Belgians actually class a double as like a table beer. So when they have their meal, they will have a double to go with their meal. That's a bit like we have a table wine, in a restaurant. They have the table beer, and it's usually a double. But then you think of the sort of food they eat is rich anyway. The sort of like their Flemish stews and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a decent beer, that is.
Yeah.
It's a weird one though because I've been aware of this beer for ages. Yeah. Never sort of picked it up, and up until now, when you get obviously we had a little chat on Facebook and stuff about sorting this out, and then we come up with the idea of the two beers that we're doing tonight, and it's just funny, isn't it, how it works? Like when you sort of see a beer but just ignore it, and then up until now, I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a really decent beer.
Well, we had the discussion on Facebook, didn't we, that if to do this joint review, the first criteria was 2 supermarket beers. So anyone that joins us, if they want you to buy that beer over the weekend and sit there and sup it while we drink it ourselves, it's easily accessible for them. And then it was a case of Dean to pick one, and I pick one, and you picked the Thornbridge, and I picked this. And when you think about the price of this, you know, £2.15 a bottle of this.
It's absolute. But I mean, to be fair, both beers scream value for me. Yeah.
But you know, £2.15, and you've got yourself a 7% Belgium double. You know, and you can go and buy, go into a specialist shop that serves a lot of, sells a lot of Belgian beer, and you can pay £3.5–4 for a lot of Belgian doubles. And yet you're picking this one up, which I think is one of, probably, to get into Belgian beers, this is probably one of the best doubles to try, to sort of hone your taste buds into a Belgian double. Now, a Belgian double is always going to be this dark beer. It's always going to be around 7%. That's because they use the roasted malts. So they roast the malts, and that produces the darkness of the beer. Whereas a triple, which is the triple ingredients, they basically, with a triple, be lighter, and usually a triple runs from about 8% to 10%. But yeah, I'm actually experimenting with this beer at the minute in making a soup with it, a beer soup. Yes, when I've perfected it, which I reckon the next time I do it, I reckon I've got it to perfection. I will be producing a video on YouTube of how to make yourself a beer soup.
I'll definitely tune in for that. That sounds pretty interesting all the same.
Well, I've already done one with on my channel. There's a few recipes. There's a playlist. There's some recipes, and I've already done what they call a proper Texas chili. And in the Texas chili, there goes a bottle of Sierra Nevada IPA gets chucked into that. So
fair enough.
Yeah, beer and cooking is, you know, if you can add a bit of beer into your cooking, it's quite good, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you think these people that like wine like to put wine in their cooking, so why can't we put beer in our cooking, you know?
Oh, yeah. Guinness steak and kidney pudding, mate. You know, you need to say more.
Steak and ale pie, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it is a perfect match, really, when you think about it. I've had many of pies and stuff like that that's had an ale or a porter in the mix, and it just makes that gravy a little bit more richer.
Yeah, and why did that come about? It came about because the publicans didn't want, like an ale only has like a 3 to 5 day sell by date on it. They didn't want to basically throw away the bits that, you know, if they had like half a barrel or something left and thought, Christ, we can't sell this anymore. So they'd make up a batch with your steak and ale fillings or pies and pop it in the freezer and then pop them on the menu. It was a case of so they didn't waste the beer.
Good resources, really, when you think about it.
But the Belgians are very big on using the beers in their food anyway. You know, the famous dish is moules. A lot of the places you go and have moules, you will see that you've got, which is your mussels, will be done in a beer broth where they've used a local beer and sort of stewed the mussels in the beer. The Flemish stew is another example where they use a dark beer in their Flemish stew.
I think we were chatting the other day, like when we were sort of getting to know each other a bit, and we had that off-air chat. And I mentioned briefly about Leffe and stuff being excellent value for money in the supermarket for a bottle, you know, £3 or whatever it is, £2.50 in some places for their Brune, which for me, I think that's my favourite out of the range. The honey's not too bad, but I think the Brune's a favourite of mine.
Have you had the triple?
No, I don't think so.
Two that I really rate of the Leffe range is you've got the triple and you've got the Styrian Goldens, because
I think I've had that one. I think I bought that bottle from Bier or one of their. It might have been a Christmas beer, but it rings a bell. That name does, yeah.
If you can get hold of the triple, try it. I think that is the best one that Leffe do. In my opinion. Obviously, Leffe now are owned by AB and Bev, but the beer, I must admit, it being owned by AB and Bev, their beer hasn't suffered. Sometimes a beer can suffer when it's owned by a big major brewery, but the Leffe hasn't. The cheese is nice if you can ever get hold of the Leffe cheese.
Leffe cheese,
yes.
And what sort of style of cheese is that then?
It's similar. A lot of the cheeses with beer in are similar to sort of like a Gouda. So they're sort of that sort of rubbery type cheese, that sort of thing. And most of the breweries in Belgium produce their own cheese. So the cheese with their beer. And they're sold alongside. And what you meant to do is obviously you have the cheese and you have the beer to go with it. Yeah. I do believe there is Westmalle cheese produced at the Abbey, the same as the beer.
Yeah.
But for people who don't know about Belgium, this is a Belgium Abbey beer. And what actually has to happen with this, like the Abbey beer, the Trappist beers, is they are not allowed by Belgium law to make a profit on this beer. They basically produce this beer and have to just cover the running costs of producing it. They can't make a profit. That is
set in stone.
Set in stone, yes.
Ah, right.
So what they rely on is making their money is people going on the brewery tours
and buying bits and pieces that way. Yeah,
exactly. Visiting the place and making donations and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. So obviously capitalism hasn't got a grip of the Trappist market yet. Then.
Yeah, they're like self-sufficient basically. It's
They know what they're doing anyway. I'll give them that. Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
It's a good example. It's a good example of, for anyone out there who's not tried a Belgium Dubbel and wants to try one.
Scores at the doors for this one then, Mark?
I'm going to give it a healthy 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll match you with that. I think it deserves that. It's solid enough.
Yeah,
it's a lovely beer actually. I'm sad to see it going slowly. To be fair, I'm enjoying it.
And what I'm going to say to anyone who's probably listening, watching, go out and buy this beer. Right? If you do not like this beer in the first couple of sips, well, actually give it 3 sips of the beer. Just the first one to coat your mouth. The second one to sort of try to get the flavours, and the third one you should have the flavours by then. If you don't like it, on 3 sips, make yourself a stew, a beef stew, and tip the rest of the bottle in there, right? And have it that way, so you're not wasting your £2.15 on a beer. Yeah, I can't, And you'll have a stew, and it'll probably be the best stew you've ever had, right? And next week, when you want a stew, you'll be buying a bottle of this beer just to stick in this stew.
I'm just going to check the comments again, Mark. Okay. Where are we at? I personally, this is from Carl Roos. Sorry if I've got your name wrong, pal. I personally prefer the Westmalle double over the triple.
Yeah.
Okay, fair dues. Kent Beer Reviews. I don't think Fuller's need to change. I love them, and as they are a brilliant traditional brewery. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I am a big fan of Thornbridge. I think they're a solid traditional brewery that don't need to mess about with the craft market. That's covered by other breweries. To be fair, that what they do to a T, and I think they do exceptional beers. I mean, the vintage series, absolutely fantastic. I've had a couple of, obviously they bring it out on a yearly basis. I've had about 3 beers now from that series, and they've been fantastic. They're boxed Imperial Stout as well. That's a good beer, and their core stuff as well. It's solid and it's steady. So yeah, I have to
agree with you. They have a wonderful stand at the London Great British Beer Festival, Fuller's. They really have a really good stand there. When I've been down there, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. I look at some of these breweries that have been doing it for years and think, you know, just produce a couple of nice beers, something that, you know, you've got all this expertise there, and, you know, Adnam's been going for donkey's years. I like to see it though. I like to see breweries embrace and move forward, like we're trying to do. You know?
You what, mate?
Like we're trying to do from ales to to craft beer to Belgian beer. It's, you know.
But it's like this stuff that we're drinking now. I mean, it's timeless.
Yeah.
It hasn't been messed about with. There's no need to mess about with it. It is what it is. Yeah. Don't change it. And I mean, I don't know about the branding. Has the branding changed, do you think, over the years?
No, I love some of these. One of the things you've got to notice about this bottle is the ring around it.
Yeah.
Pronounced ring. Yeah. Some of these bottles that you know that these beers come in, you can see they've been around for donkey's years. The design, the labels. I had a comment on I did a beer yesterday, St. Bernardus, and the fella commented and said, "I got that in a box of beer, like a Lucky Dip box of beer," and he said, "I ain't drunk it yet because the 1970s style label put me off." People are so like seeing these funky labels on these beers nowadays, you know, like these art designed labels and that sort of thing. They see something with like I say, a label like this, and they think, that's a load of crap. Look at the label, you know, and it's not.
No, it's far from it. Far from it. It's a beautiful beer. I'm taken back by it. Like I said, I mean, I maybe you're the guy to sort of push me in that direction for exploring a few more Belgian beers.
Well, I think, and look, subscribers, the people who are listening here tonight, right? Make a comment, give us a thumbs up if you'd like to see me and Dean do a supermarket triple. This is a Belgian triple that you can go and buy from a supermarket. How do you feel about it, Dean?
Game on, mate. Game on.
Something that all the people listening here, all the subscribers, anyone watch this video can go out. We can give like a week's notice or whatever to when we're going to do it, and you can go out, walk into a supermarket, buy this Belgium triple, and drink along with us.
Yeah, definitely. I'm up for that. No complaints.
Yeah. But this is good. It's I'm glad you like this one. I'm glad you like this one.
Yeah, I love it. I really do like it. I appreciate it. And the flavours that come from it. I love the mouthfeel to it as well. It's so
silky
rich and
smooth, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Even though there's carbonation in there, and you can see the carbonation because, you know, I'm getting to the bottom of the glass and there's still, if you notice, there's still foam.
There's still foam and it's lacing. It's leaving a nice bit of lacing.
Yeah. And it doesn't dance on your tongue at all, does it? It's you know, some beers with carbonation. Some beers with carbonation is like having the old space dust in your mouth, like when you was a kid, where it's all pinging around your mouth here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, exactly. This has got carbonation, good carbonation, and it just glides across your tongue and down your throat. It's not gassy, not gassy beer, is it?
No.
But looking at the levels of carbonation in it, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you just know, from the conditioning of the beer, the look of it, the mouthfeel, the taste. You know, a bit of love's gone into making this stuff. It's not just been, let's just push a load of buttons and just bang them out. And, production line jobber. Even though it probably, I mean, it is a, a lot of bottles get banged out on it, but all the same, it's got that love in it. You can just tell from the mouthfeel of it and the flavors. It's fantastic.
There's a lot of purists who will buy this beer and won't drink it until it's like a month out of date, where they will let it have its proper date fermentation inside the bottle before they touch it. And they will go and stick them in their shed or in their cellar, and they'll have bottles all around the sheds or the cellars of the Westmalle Dubbel, just waiting for the day that they can open it, crack it open and drink it.
Yeah.
And that goes to show, because I reckon they say the more you leave it, the better the flavours come, because you've got the yeast in the bottle and it's re-fermented all the time. So,
well, I know back in, I think it was back in November, I did like a mini bottle share with another beer tuber, two beer tubers, Blue Nose Beer Reviews and the Clueless Drinker. And we went to Harry's Blue Nose Beer Reviews. Went to his gaff, and we did a bottle share. And he had an Orval box. I mean, go and check the video out on YouTube, Mark. An Orval box, and it went back from, I think it was 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And we actually did a video at his place of all the beers. It's quite a long video, but it's that was a beautiful experience. That was to try each one, and each one was completely different. Lovely stuff it was.
The only difference you'll find with this beer is with a lot of Belgian beers, if they're bottle conditioned, they do taste slightly different on tap. So if you're ever in Belgium and you see it on tap, if you used to have a glass of it on tap and then go somewhere else and have a bottle of it, you will find a slightly different taste. But apart from that, it's a good solid beer.
Yeah, I'll just have a quick look at the comments again. My other fellow live beer reviewer, Christoph, Ale Degustation, he says it's a nice beer. I'm guessing he means a Westmalle, and it is fantastic, Christoph. Joshua, what do you think is the worst beer and the best beer? In my opinion, my favourite is Corona, and my least favourite is Budweiser.
Well, they're two of my worst beers.
So let's go. John Smith's, Worthington's. No, I.
The best beer I've ever had. Hard one.
It is a hard one.
I'll tell you what. This is the best beer I've ever had because of the story.
Okay.
It's the story that goes with this beer is better than the beer, but it's the story. It's on my YouTube channel. It's the Airborne Triple by Brasserie Lamberel, and it's a tribute to a soldier who's still alive, believe it or not, who was at the Battle of Bastogne. And it's the story about the beer and how it came about, and how he revisited the place and found out about the beer that was produced on a myth, but it was a true story. There's a lot of swings and roundabouts in it, and yeah.
Oh, right.
I sometimes like the history about the beer as well. It's
yeah, and I mean, I commend your channel for what you do with that, because you do your you know, with every review that you do, you try and sort of like link up a little story or a nice little bit of history about the brewery or the beer itself.
Yeah, because some of these beers have fantastic histories to them, or the breweries have fantastic histories. You know, some of these breweries have been destroyed in wars, rebuilt, destroyed in another war, rebuilt, had fires.
Yeah. I mean, if you do dig a little bit deeper into a certain brewery, you can be pleasantly surprised, can't you, from what you can uncover from like the history of how it started and the tragedies that may have happened with that brewery through the years and stuff.
Yeah, we look at an example with they're rebrewing again now, but it's not the same brewery. Truman's.
Truman's,
a couple of lads have started brewing Truman's again out of the East End, and because Truman's, when they disappeared.
Is that Hackney way? Is it?
Yeah. When they disappeared, Truman's Brewery, the name died with Truman's. No one had the patent for the name. No one. So these young lads have started up as Truman's, and you still drive around London and still see on the side of buildings
Truman's.
All this free advertising for them. It's fantastic. It's
I've seen a couple of boozers around London with Truman's over it still.
Yeah. It's you still see it. A lot of them are turned into houses and office blocks, and that you still see the Truman's up, doesn't it? It's
Joshua replies back to the about his favourite beer and stuff. But what's wrong with Corona? And then smiling.
What's right with it?
Yeah. Well, I saw Sofa King drunk. He posted his review up today of that, and If you're in Mexico and you're drinking it, then fair dues.
Yeah. It's
better than Carlin anyway, I suppose.
Oh God, Carlin, Foster's.
Yeah. We'll leave that there. To be honest, I haven't really drank around. I've just tried a lot of different beers. I've just stuck to the popular ones. But watching your channels makes me want to be more adventurous. And fair play to you, mate. Yeah, you definitely go out there and just mess about, just experiment with certain beers.
And that's my aim. That's my aim has been all along, just to get people to try different beers. You know, try a beer. Let me know what you think of it. You know, anyone listening here tonight, go out and buy a bottle. Like I said, buy a bottle of this Westmalle and the Halycon. Right, try it. Let us know what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Yeah, I mean, I still come across it. I don't know about you, but not every beer sort of makes me happy, or I think, well, it's a bit, not too impressed with this one. It's happened to me quite a few times. I've spent upwards of £4 or £5 on a can of beer, and it hasn't delivered.
I do get people comment and say it to me a few times. is there any beers you don't like? And to be honest, it's apart from your sort of Carlin Fosters, that sort of thing. A lot of beers I've reviewed have all been good. You know, not all have been brilliant, but they've all been good. You know, I think
what's your least favourite beer style then?
My least favourite beer style, believe it or not, has always been milds and porters.
Oh. Yeah, I'm a mild man. I'm well from the Midlands.
Yeah, you see, yeah, see.
Yeah, piss water. 3% ABV. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for milds. I do like a mild. Yeah, porters. I mean, I probably prefer a stout because of the body, the body. But yeah, I won't say no to a porter. Don't mind it.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of stouts on my channel as of yet. I think you've got to be in the right mood for a stout.
Yeah, I always see a stout as like a finisher beer. You know, you've had a good session of the light stuff.
Yeah,
and you just want to,
like I did last night. Yeah, Finishing off,
you don't do too many nightcaps though.
Finishing off my session of Belgian beer last night with a Vocation Brewery Breakfast Club Stout. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good beer. I like that.
Yeah. Beer of the year 2018.
Yeah, love an 8 and that. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Bang on for the price as well.
Yeah.
£3, £2.50, £3 a pop for them 2 beers.
Yeah.
You cannot knock it. That is absolute quality.
Available in Tesco's to everyone.
Available in Tesco's, yeah. You know, if I was to have said to you 2 years ago or a year ago, you're going to get that sort of beer on the supermarket shelves, you would have went, shut up. No way.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, Tesco's actually do, for anyone who wants to like try the Thornbridge range, they actually do a box set in Tesco's of I think it's 8 different Thornbridge beers in a box, and they've got all their bulk standard, very, very good beers. So they've got their Bakewell Sour, they've got their Hells, their wheat beer, that sort of thing. Jaipur, which
Jaipur,
is the Indian Pale Ale, which is very, very popular. And I think they charge about $15.99 for 8 bottles of beer.
8 bottles.
Yeah,
that's good value. Good value.
It's good value. And for anyone who wants to try the range, it's probably cheaper than going to Thornbridge themselves and buying it through their website.
Yeah, I love Thornbridge. That was one of my sort of first breweries to get into.
Yeah. I got a bottle of Jaipur X yesterday at 10%.
10%. I've never had the pleasure of trying that. I know when it first came out about 2-3 years ago, there was a big sort of like fuss about it, and I always thought I need to get around to trying that, but never had it yet.
£2.60 a bottle in my specialist beer shop. 10% beer, £2.60 a bottle.
Yeah, you've got to take that all day long.
Yeah,
that price.
The first beer I grabbed when I walked in the door, actually, when I see it on display,
yeah.
I'm having a bottle of that.
Yeah, I mean, they make some fantastic dark beers, as you said as well, and your review from yesterday, the Lucas, that's a fantastic Ellis lager. Yeah, considering it, like you said in your video, it's a UK brewery. But I think the Germans would actually give it the nod if they were to try it. They would think, well, hang on a minute, this is a pretty good effort. This is our style of beer. They nailed it.
Well, I met yesterday in a pub in Bury St Edmunds an American who's based at Lakenheath in the forces, and
Oh, Lakenheath, yeah, Milton Hall,
he's
Lakenheath,
actually got a brewery in America. That's going to be his retirement once he comes out of the forces. So he's got a part ownership in a brewery in America. He did tell me the name, and it's sort of slipped my mind, right? And I was actually asking him why the Americans are sending over their hops to the sort of Halycon region of Bavaria to grow their hops there, and then they're being shipped all the way back to the USA. And he said, we can go and do them hops in California, which is a big hop growing region, but the soil's different. They reckon the difference in the taste of the hops coming from that region in Germany is a big difference, a major big difference. So I said to him, well, do you ever send any hops down to Kent? Because obviously Kent is a renowned hop growing area of the UK. And a lot of the Kent hops get sent worldwide for the various beers and that. And he said, no, we haven't really done that. It's all sort of gone over to Germany. So our Thornbridge, obviously they're getting the Halycon hops and that from Germany, but are they, you sort of begin to wonder now, are they sending hops over to Germany to be grown? Interesting, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Until I was told it, I wouldn't have known it. I would not have known it.
No. And who told you that story then?
This is this fellow who's got this brewery yesterday in the pub. He's apparently going to get in contact with me because he's going to send me some beer. Yeah, so I'll wait to see. But yeah, it's quite interesting to know this, and it's all to do with. But obviously, it must be something to do with the soil in Kent. Why Kent is a big hop growing region.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it logically, like soil does play a big part in any sort of thing that's growing.
Yeah.
Obviously, rich, fertile, good quality soil.
Yeah, exactly what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, little things like that though. It's all. Yeah, it's the beer geek within all of us, isn't it? You know, when you hear little stories like that and stuff, you know.
The only thing that put me off of the Thornbridge Halycon was it's obviously produced for the English market because it's 4.2%, whereas
it's not quite.
Hells from Germany, it's going to be 5.2, around that sort of ABV.
Yeah.
And there's something about the UK where they can't adopt or get into these high ABV beers. It seems 4%. It's like go above that, it's a no-no. It's sort of.
Yeah. I did a Cloudwater beer the other day. That was their take on a Helles lager, which I really enjoyed, and I think that was around about the 4.8 mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the same, a decent effort from a UK brewery. I enjoyed it. And one thing I did have as well, I got given this bottle. It was a Bier del Borgo from Rome or from Italy.
Right.
They did an Imperial Pilsner, and that was 7% ABV. But that poured out like a bloody IPA. That did. It was like hazy, cloudy, and.
If you say that, I had the Imperial Pilsner from Camden, which I reviewed at 10%. It was just like a Pilsner. It was, and I've got to say this is a cracking beer from all right, they're owned by AB&V. Yes, a lot of purists don't consider that as craft beer anymore, but hey, they're still producing good beer. It's what makes me laugh about this. There's a lot of beer snobbery nowadays that as soon as a big company buys a brewery, it's like, oh, you're not a craft beer anymore.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's still craft beer, but it's all this snobbery about, you know, like an example being the Imperial Pilsner by Camden. Oh, that's not a craft beer anymore because it's owned by AB and Bev. And yet, when Goose Island every year produce their stout, the Imperial Stout every year, all the craft beer enthusiasts are like fighting over one another to get hold of a bottle and displaying it all over on social media. I've got a bottle of this. Hold on.
Yeah, double standards.
AB and Bev.
Yeah. I've never sort of that's never swayed me, to be fair. I'm not bothered who owns the brewery.
No.
As long as it tastes good.
Good beer.
It's a good beer. Yeah, I couldn't give a monkey's if McDonald's owned the brewery.
No.
If they're rocking out a double IPA and it's hitting the spot, I'm happy with it. You know, I'm happy with it. So yeah, I've never been fussed with all the, you know, the buyouts and the mergers and stuff like that. I'm not bothered. But there's people out there that infuriate.
In a brewery's shoes, right? You're a little brewery. You're probably working 120 hours a week for less than minimum wage to produce some beer. People like your beer, yeah. And then a major brewery comes along and says, "I'd like to give you 49% share in your brewery, i.e., what's happened at Beavertown, or we'd like to buy your brewery, i.e., what's happened at Camden." What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You've been slogging your guts off trying to pay your bills, right, just to satisfy some beer people, and someone comes with a lot of millions of pounds and says, "Yeah, mate, it's like winning the lottery, isn't it?"
Yeah, you'd be an absolute nutter to turn that offer down.
Of course you would.
If they come knocking on your door, got the checkbook out, they've showed interest in your brewery. Yeah, you'd be a fool to say no, because that's the perfect progression.
Yeah.
For you know, the business model, they're going to take your brewery to that next level. Obviously, with distribution, volume, you know, it's win-win all the way. But yeah, all these microbreweries, it's almost like the purists. They're making the beer just for them. You can't make beer for other people, because that means you're going to expand, and we don't want that to happen.
But it's no different in Belgium, with a lot of the breweries are now being bought out by the Dubbel Mortgat brewery. You know, so everyone's probably heard of the Dubbel, the beer, the little stumpy bottles. Yeah. Well, they own a lot of the breweries in Belgium. They've bought out. Has the beer suffered? No. Is it still good? No.
Still, yeah.
Have the breweries still stayed where they are and still using their name? Yes. They're still, you know, you still go to Deconic in Antwerp and it's still there. You know, you can go and visit the place and it's still the Deconic brewery, but they're owned by the Dubbel Mortgat.
Yeah, that's never fazed me.
No.
Never fazed me whatsoever. Yeah. If I want to try the beer, I'll try it. Craft, macro, whatever you want to label it, brand it. If it's a beer that I haven't had before, I'm going to be intrigued straight away. It's got my attention, because I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, I've never seen that around before.
Yeah,
I want to try it. I want to give it a review. You know. So yeah, I'll just have a quick butchers at the comments again. Joshua replies back again. How do you choose a beer to drink? Because that's one of the reasons I don't drink different beers. All the selection just baffles me, and I just stick to what I know.
Well,
so we've established that he likes beers, Corona. You know, a good shout would be the Lucas, then, wouldn't it, for lagers? If we're sticking to lagers, trying the Lucas maybe.
Lost Lager, Brewdog, Camden Hells, available in supermarkets.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap as well, aren't they?
A Warsteiner Pils.
Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah.
And then after, you know, dipping your toes in them sort of beers, maybe try an IPA.
Yeah.
Pale ale.
Pale ale, yeah. Watch our channel and watch our channels and go out when we do a supermarket beer and we say, look, you can get this in the supermarket down your local Tesco's or your Waitrose or your Morrison's or your Sainsbury's. Pop in here the following week and buy yourself a bottle. If you like to what you hear of the review, buy yourself a bottle, try it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't like it, tell us.
Fantastic out there.
Yeah, Lucas, if you don't like the beer, you know, literally say on it, you know, if we review a beer, right, and you go out and buy it and you try it and you go, I don't like it, tell us why you don't like it.
Mm.
And hopefully you're going to tell us you like it and go, thanks, well done, lads. But, you know,
yeah. Cheers for steering us in the right direction.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think we'll ease it down slowly now. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed this hangout. It's been good. Big thanks to Mark, aka the Beer Hooligan, for taking part in this live review of two fantastic beers.
Big thanks to Dean as well.
Good knowledge as well.
No, I've got to thank Dean here because you were the one that contacted me and asked me if I would like to do it. So I've got to thank you for approaching me and asking me and giving me your time to sit here and do this, and also to be a bit patient with me because you knew how to do it and I didn't, and there was a bit of a at first we didn't know.
No, well, I mean,
come on with you know.
To be fair to the viewers, I got all this set up, and we were. Mark joined me, and then we were set to hit live, and then it wouldn't bloody go, and I had to do a re-upload sort of thing and do a new stream because it wouldn't let me go live. But but thanks for your patience for that, mate. But yeah, it's been wonderful actually, and I'm hoping that he would like to do a few more with me in the not too distant future.
What do you reckon, Dean? Right, I'll put this suggestion to you, and I'll put it to the people watching. If we was to do this once a month.
Yeah, I'm up for that, mate. Up for that.
Yeah, we do this once a month. We get a couple of beers, and we'll try to do supermarket beers. So the people watching can go out and buy these beers. We'll give them prior notice beforehand so they get a chance to buy the beers and join us for a drink. And yeah, you know, we can all go to our specialist beer shops. Dean's got his, I've got mine, and pick up a couple of beers. And you'll go, where am I going to get them from? You know?
No, we'll keep it supermarket based.
Yeah.
Once a month, 2 beers once a month. Obviously, we'll put all that information out for what beers that we're going to be selecting. Me and Mark will shoot a few ideas on Facebook together, and you know, see what we come up with.
The first beer we're going to do is next month. There will be a Belgium triple.
Belgium triple. Yeah,
and
no, I'm up for that.
Accessible from the supermarket. I'm not going to disclose the name now, but it's a very, very good Belgium triple that a lot of people consider to be their favourite Belgium triple. There you go.
Okay. Right. There we go. And I think we'll end this stream with Mark, what your famous catchphrase, mate, when we're ending it?
Beer is the answer, but I cannot remember the question. Thank you for watching. Good night.
See you on the next one, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, Dave.